Are you constantly adjusting your trim tabs while your boat's underway? Wouldn't it be nice to have the comfort of a level boat ride without having to constantly fiddle with those trim tabs? Wouldn't it be nice if your trim tabs could help you get on plane faster and stay on plane at a much slower speed than usual? What about when passengers get up, move around the boat, and change the balance of the boat? Wouldn't it be nice if the trim tabs just figured it out and kept the boat level? Right. In this video, we're going to go over how to automate your trim tabs so that you can focus on driving and not have to touch your trim tabs at all, not pay them any attention. Of all the upgrades that we've made to channel surfing, the automatic trim tabs is in the top 3. It was a big game changer for us. If you've installed the Lenco Autoglide or Bennett Auto Trim Pro or other similar auto leveling trim tab systems on your boat, please leave a comment in the comment section below and let us know how it worked out for you. And also, if you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing and clicking that like button because it really helps us out a lot. Alright, on the RT27 outboard, the boat has a slight port list from the factory. It's also a single prop screw, so the natural rotation of the prop is going to want to twist the boat to port. And of course, they've got the refrigerator and the kicker motor and the batteries and stuff all on the port side, so the boat naturally wants to lean to port. When we get up on plane, we can adjust make the boat level using the trim tabs, but it takes manual operation to do that. Also, as you're driving along, when the sea states and stuff change, the wind and the current will change. That'll also change the condition of the boat. So we just found that we were constantly changing the trim tabs all the time. So to give you an example, when we first got the boat, a normal day out for us, right? We're in salt water, so there's lots of wind, lots of lots of current, with the tides and so forth. The boat would always, it would list to port, list to starboard. It would always be constantly changing. I'd adjust the trim tabs, I'd get them level, and then I'd drive 10-15 minutes. Next thing you know, the boat would be off level again. And I'd always forget where the tabs actually were. I'd make an adjustment to them, and I'd always guess wrong and make the list worse before it'd make better. Then I'd have to retract all the tabs and then readjust them again. It was just a lot of extra work on trying to keep the boat level and comfortable while we were driving. Right, I found all of this very frustrating, right? So we ended up doing is the boat came with Lenco electric tabs and a manual switch for port and starboard tabs up or down, right? I've now got over 250 engine hours on the Lenco Autoglide that we installed. I have not touched my trim tabs to adjust them since April of 21. It's been over a year since I last had to touch those. So what is the Lenco Autoglide? So the Autoglide, it's a drop-in replacement. I mean, Lenco makes the Autoglide for their Lenco electric tabs. Like I said, the boat came with just a manual switch for up-down on the Lenco tabs. What the Autoglide does is it replaces that switch with a more sophisticated switch, which has trim tab indicators and stuff on it. It actually shows you the level of the boat on the switch. And it adds a controller. This controller is a little box about this big, and it has to be positioned in the boat with the bow one way, the stern the other way. It's marked on the controller how it has to be positioned. So inside that controller is like some gyroscopes and accelerometers, so the controller feels what the boat does for both roll and pitch. Right? There's a calibration process that you have to run through with it so that it knows what level is, and then you just drive the boat and it automatically figures out the tabs and keeps the boat level and keeps the pitch where it needs to be. Installation of the Autoglide was actually fairly straightforward. It takes 12-volt power, which is already there for the switch, port and starboard tabs, which are already there for the switch. You add the controller, it's a big Amphenol connection to it. And then Amphenol connection adds a connection to the NEMA 2000 bus. That's so the Autoglide knows GPS speed, it also knows direction, and it also knows engine RPM. It needs to know the engine RPM because as I increase RPMs, that means I'm getting ready to launch to get up on plane. It will proactively drop the tabs on the back. to help me get on plane quicker. So the whole shot was actually improved drastically by putting the Autoglide in, getting up out of that hole, bump on plane quicker. Also, looking at the speed of the boat, I can actually stay on plane down to about 13-14 knots with the Autoglide. It'll keep those tabs down to help me cruise at slower speeds and still stay on plane and maintain fuel efficiency at that. Watching how the Autoglide works is pretty interesting. So when you go to turn, when the boat goes to turn, the Autoglide will actually lock out. In other words, it won't make any changes, so it's not going to fight you in the turn, so the boat will still bank, as required. The other thing that it will do also is it'll do, like, to readjust the boat, like if the passenger moves around or the wind and current changes and the boat starts to lean one way or the other, it'll go up on one tab and down on the other in these short, quick bursts, way faster than you would ever be able to operate the manual tabs, to cause the boat to twist a little bit quicker. What Autoglide is not? It is not a seakeeper. It is not paravanes. It is not stabilizers. It's not going to stop the boat from rocking and rolling. It's still a boat. It's still an 8.5 foot beam. You're still going to feel the waves. What the Autoglide does is it keeps the boat balanced when you're up on plane. If you're not on plane, it's not going to do anything for you when you're just slow boating. And it's not instant either. If somebody moves around the boat, you're going to feel the boat lift, and you're just going to wait a couple seconds, and then it's going to put the boat back to center again, right, and balance. And it makes it so much easier to drive the boat, because all I do is adjust the engine trim, which you still have to do for fuel efficiency for the engine, but the trim tabs, I don't pay any attention to them. There's indicators that actually show up on the chart plotter. I look at them occasionally just out of curiosity, but in general, I pay the trim tabs zero attention with the Autoglide. It just makes for a much more enjoyable ride for the boat. So for installation of the Autoglide, if you have the Northwest edition and it's a 21 model and newer, the easiest place is you pull the helm seat that I'm sitting on up, and it fits right underneath in the helm. It's plenty of room to put it there. It's probably a 4-hour job to install it. If you've got the luxury edition, the newer luxury editions with the slow start air conditioners, you can also pull the seat up, and there's room there to put the Autoglide. If you have a boat that's a 2020 or older, then you're probably going to have to cut like a 4-inch inspection hole right up here in the helm, but right down over here, to be able to get your hands back in to get to the quick disconnect cables for the port and starboard tabs and get the switch replaced. But it just adds another little bit extra work. It's still probably about a 6-hour job on a 2020 or older model to install one. The only wire that you have to crimp is the ignition wire, and it needs a connection to the ignition to know when the engine gets turned off, because it'll retract the tabs for trailing to bring them all the way up. That's why you need that wire. Overall, the project costs about $1,000. The unit's about $800. There's a little L bracket and then a NEMA 2000T that you have to get. So call it just under $1,000 total for the upgrade. And like I said, on R27, it's about a 4 to 6 hour install.
Great
may move to the left, which means it's got to go to the right. Same with forward, back. And you can see how it'll tap the flaps up or down, and it does them in opposite corners, just little short bursts. Just trying to maintain balance. Come back here, you can see how fairly level it is. Of course, I'm standing center line. I move over to this side, the boat wants to lean, and the trim tab will take a couple of seconds, and the boat will pop right back up on level. Or, I move to the other side, as my son loves to do all the time. Now the boat leans to this side, and the boat levels itself back out again. If you're interested in seeing what the Autoglide looks like to do the install, then please check out this video, and thanks for watching.
If you enjoyed watching this video, click the screen to watch another.